What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be going over some recent changes that have happened in Fortnite. There wasn't a major update for these, but Epic has been kind of changing things over the course of this week because they did come back from break. As always, if you guys do find this video helpful or informative, remember to give a like, subscribe to like see more, and comment down below what you think of these changes. So since there wasn't a major update, a lot of these are like pretty minor changes, but they still can affect the game. They fixed something with the exotic slap splashes. The explosive repeater rifle got a minor nerf for build mode. And then also siphon will be enabled in tournaments now. So we're going to be going over all of that in this video, because if you guys don't really follow Fortnite status or other Fortnite news accounts on social media, you probably would have missed these changes. So the first thing we're going to talk about is going to be the exotic slap splashes. When these initially were added, they were bugged and you would get them from holo chests and llamas, but you would get them only in stacks of 2 rather than 6. So you would eliminate a llama and then get 2 of these, or spend 2 keys at the holo chest and get 2 of these, and it was really underwhelming because it's not really worth carrying just 2 of them. But now if you open the 2 key holo chests and get the exotic slap splashes or eliminate a llama, they will drop 6 now. And this is actually a very good healing item. If you guys don't know the difference between the regular and the regular slap splashes heal for 15 and give 30 seconds of unlimited sprint. The exotic slap splashes heal for 30 and give a minute of unlimited sprint. So these are actually very good, and in team game modes, I definitely think it might be worth having somebody in your team carry these, because a minute of unlimited sprint for the entire team is nice. And then also 30 AoE healing is also incredibly nice. This is probably the second best healing item in the game right now, behind Slurp Juice. So if you aren't able to get Slurp Juice and you come across holo chests with the exotic slap splashes in it, or you eliminate a llama and you're able to get these exotic slap splashes, I definitely would recommend carrying them, because I think they are very good. It was just kind of griefed when they first came out because they only dropped in stacks of 2, and then also the ice cream were in the game at the time, so there was the low whip special serve ice cream that people were likely going to carry anyways. But with that being vaulted and with this bug being fixed, I think the exotic slap splashes are probably the second best healing item in the game, and you could make an argument for them being better than slurps just because of how fast you can heal off of them. So those are very good. I would recommend using them if you can. The change with the explosive repeater, it's nice to see this weapon get nerfed, but this is pretty much only going to be a change that affects build mode, and that is going to be that its structure damage was reduced. Now it deals way less damage to builds, and the reason why this is really good is because with the previous build damage, it would one-shot any newly built structure. So you could kind of exist on height and then just shoot down the explosive repeater rifle at people, and they would have to waste so much mats to try to survive that, because each time you shot, it would break like all of their newly placed builds. And with 500 of each mat cap being a thing, it was very easy to run people out of mats in-game, and that kind of became a prevalent strategy in build mode, is just spam people with the repeater until they're out of mats and then fight them, or until they're low on mats and then fight them. But with this change, the repeater will do way less damage to structures, and it doesn't just one hit every newly built wall anymore. So you're not just going to be constantly pinned down by somebody spamming a repeater at you. I think this is a great change. I definitely think the repeater could use some more nerfs. It's still an incredibly overpowered item. This pretty much only addresses build mode. I don't see this affecting zero build at all, but it's still an insanely overpowered weapon in zero build. And it's still a very good weapon in build mode as well, despite this nerf mainly being targeted at builds. What I would like to see them do to the explosive repeater is reduce the explosive damage, but increase the actual bullet damage. So as of now, the gold one will do 80 damage if you hit somebody, 40 from the explosive and 40 from the bullet. I think it should be like 60 from the bullet and 20 from the explosive. Like, you could still make it work exactly as it is, but hitting somebody shouldn't be the same value as like hitting next to them, I think. Like, and that's how it is now. The bullet and the explosive are treated the same. So I think kind of keep the total damage the same, but reduce the explosive damage. That way, in situations where people are just shooting around cover at people, they're not just constantly tagging them for high 30s or 40s. It would be like teens and 20s on the splash damage, and it wouldn't be as insane to deal with for that reason. I think another thing that could change about this weapon is potentially just the fire rate and the hip fire accuracy. That would definitely reduce its effectiveness in close range. And then also, I think maybe making it to where the explosive effect doesn't trigger the Bloodhound augment, because how it is now, the Bloodhound augment marks people anytime you hit them with a marksman rifle, and since this is technically considered a marksman rifle, it works with Bloodhound, but you don't even need to hit the person, you can just hit near them with the explosive splash damage, and then that will ping people, and that's, you know, just another benefit to this weapon. Like, it's already an insane weapon, but it just has so many benefits. And then also, I think the explosive damage radius could also be reduced a decent amount. That way you're not just constantly splash damaging people. I think the way you can play around this weapon is just absurd, especially with soaring sprints and shockwaves, just raining down explosive after explosive after explosive from the sky and hitting for like high 30s or 40 each time. I think it's just very annoying to play against, and it's really not that fun to do unless you can't get kills otherwise. Like, if it's just exciting for you to get any kills, then sure, you probably have fun doing this, or when like the novelty of it when it's new. But after weeks of playing with this, I just feel like it's not that fun of a combo, and it definitely needs to be nerfed in some way. So this nerf was a step in the right direction, but I still think there's several ways that they could nerf it and still have it be a good weapon. Like the first change I suggested with kind of giving more damage back to the bullet and taking that away from the explosive damage, I think would make it still a very good weapon for people who are able to hit shots with it, but just the explosive spam nature of it wouldn't be as ridiculous or as annoying to play against. So I think that's, if I could change anything, that's what I personally would like to do, is just keep the total damage the same, but give half of the explosive damage back to the bullet. And I think you would still have a good weapon, but you wouldn't have it be annoying in the same way that it's annoying, and people would have to actually hit their shots with it. Imagine that, a gun in Fortnite where you have to hit your shots to do damage. That'd be crazy, right? So yeah, I think that's what they should change with the explosive repeater, but let me know down in the comments below what you think, and what you would change about the explosive repeater. And the final thing we're going to talk about is going to be siphon in tournaments. So if you guys are unaware of what siphon is, it is getting health back when you eliminate opponents, and you get 50 health or shield when you eliminate somebody in competitive. When they added the ranked mode last season, for some reason, who knows why, they took siphon out of competitive. And so there was no siphon in ranked, and there was no siphon in tournaments. And this changed the game a lot, and it made the game less competitively viable and less fun. I don't really play competitive. I don't really follow competitive, but my favorite moments in tournaments is just kind of those situations where you're really shambles and you're just fragging to stay alive in game. There's so many iconic competitive moments that are only a thing because siphon, and because players were able to consistently live for every kill they get. They would buy themselves a few seconds more in Storm, and then they just keep doing that, and they're able to come back and win the game. It was removed for some reason when they added ranked. Now it will be enabled again in build mode tournaments. So I believe the upcoming duo cups, the solo cups, and FNCS, which is a huge thing. This is a good thing for competitive. Not sure why it's not in ranked. I think it should just be in ranked. Doesn't really make sense. I think ranked should be good for competitive. I do not think siphon will ever come back to pubs though. I would love if it did. I think it just objectively made the game better and more fun to play. Reduce the effectiveness of third parties, because you would get a little bit of HP back after your fight, and then that could be the difference maker when dealing with third parties, you know. But I don't think it'll ever come back to pubs. It's a good thing that it's in comp again. Weird timing, because FNCS is today as of the time I'm recording this, I think. So they made this massive change for competitive the day before the big tournament. That's kind of always what Epic does, and that's one of the reasons why comp players are typically pretty frustrated with Epic at all times. A massive change like this, even though it's a good one, changes how people are going to play, and how people, it kind of makes all the practice they've done this season irrelevant to an extent. Like, it obviously still matters, but the game they've been practicing isn't the same one they're going to play in tournaments. I think it's a good thing, but I don't think it will ever come back to pubs, because the removal of siphon was one of the most controversial changes ever in Fortnite, and it created a very negative kind of perception of Epic in the community. So I just don't think they'll ever add it back, because they came to the conclusion that it needed to be removed in the past. And so if they added it back into pubs and then kind of go back on it a few weeks later, people are just going to be upset and frustrated, and I just don't think Epic wants to deal with that again, even though I personally think it would make the game much better. But that is going to be it for this video. Let me know what you guys think of these changes and what you would change with the explosive repeater. I think this nerf is a good thing for builds. Doesn't really change anything for for zero build. And the exotic slap splashes, I think, are going to be a top tier healing item in the game now. So if you're able to get these, I would definitely recommend trying them out and maybe even carrying them over slurps. Or if you're unable to find slurps for whatever reason, I think these will be a very good substitute. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. The NPC launched a mushroom into me while Rick just sat there. Dude, the NPC's out here hitting trick shots on me. That was the only time this entire season that grenades have been helpful to somebody. Because they're so bad now. If you don't kill him, he would have killed you later? Yeah, probably. Like, that guy, I don't think that highly of that Optimus, to be honest, but like he could move his character enough to get away from me, you know, and so he probably is more of a threat. Same with that red person we killed that was just hitting me with the explosive rifle when I was fighting the Optimus. Like, that player was decent as well.